It's hard to miss the sight of construction in Vietnam, a country riding the wave of an economic boom. Its stunning GDP growth, 6.7% in 2015, is an enviable figure in a region shaken by global turmoil and stagnating growth. Foreign investments are pouring in. FDI into Vietnam reached a record high in 2015 at $23 billion, a 12.5% jump from the year before. China Energy, a Fortune 500 state-owned firm, sees the potential.
Because Vietnam has the demand, and Vietnam's economy is growing very rapidly, electrical supply is currently insufficient and forms the market for our power investment. Besides, we have the confidence and ability to do this well. Therefore, choosing Vietnam is a very good investment option. Furthermore, our investment will help Vietnam's economic growth.
Higher wages in China, once a manufacturing powerhouse, have forced labor-intensive industries to find cheaper locations, with Vietnam emerging as a key destination. But the real test now, can Vietnam maintain the allure? The country's newly elected set of leaders headed by Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc faces sliding oil revenue and weaker agriculture output, which has crimped first-quarter growth to only 5.46%. The World Bank says risks for Vietnam are overwhelmingly on the downside. Adding to that uncertainty, a slowdown in the region's biggest trading partner, China.
The risk is that from being slightly vulnerable, Vietnam could become very vulnerable to external shocks. If you have a strong transition of the Chinese growth model, if you have commodity prices that would eventually fall lower and for longer, then it would expose the Vietnamese economy, and that would not be good for the Vietnamese population.
Despite the external headwinds, Vietnam's top government officials want to reach 7% growth in the next 5 years. Job creation is going to be vital to hit that target. But for a country still largely dependent on cheap labor and low-end manufacturing, a lot still needs to be done to lift the population's spending power.
From this disposable income point of view, of course, it is quite low right now. But saying that, right, is that right now they're having $2,000. In order for the whole retail market to kick off, right, they need to increase to $4,000.
For now, Vietnam is still counting on foreign investment to boost infrastructure and growth.
It is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with foreign investments pouring into Vietnam as the government speeds up reforms. And there's plenty to be excited about, with Vietnam likely to be the key beneficiary of the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Vietnam stands to be the biggest winner of the 12-nation TPP trade pact. Fewer tariffs on exports would especially benefit Vietnam's textiles and apparel industry.
Based on the US government analysis, Vietnam will grow close to about 23.7% of this GDP benefit from there, as compared to Malaysia 6.4%, other countries a bit more smaller. So the main beneficiary will be coming from this Vietnam.
And Malaysian players not to be left out of Vietnam's growth story. Malaysia was the biggest ASEAN investor in Vietnam in 2015, pumping in about $2.5 billion in FDI. Local company Jax Resources and a subsidiary of Malakoff have made their way into Vietnam's power sector. Gamuda and Berjaya also making their presence felt in construction and gaming. Much is expected of Vietnam, on course to be one of 2016's fastest growing economies. But the question remains, can the Southeast Asian nation overcome the risks that could derail its plans? Xin Cheng Eun, Bloomberg TV, Malaysia.